The Texas entrance of FCI Segalville. As far as most people are concerned, this is it. A haven where the law is upheld and dangerous animals are contained. Many thought Josh Duggar, the shame star of 19 children and counting, sentence of more than 12 years for collecting evidence relating to child sexual assault, was put away. A man who has been convicted of a crime is usually the lowest form of life in the harsh and merciless environment of a federal prison. Everyone was anticipating the story. What if, however, I were to tell you that tale is not true? What if instead of being just different, the world behind those barriers is terrifyingly different? A picture is starting to emerge thanks to insider accounts, intercepted communications, and a fearful whistleblower, so unsettling that it rewrites our entire worldview. It is said that while incarcerated, Josh Duggar had a spiritual awakening. Our informants tell us that he actually became one. He did not suffer. He's a predator who's made a terrible new realm out of his prison sentence. Rest assured, this is not your average Duggar scandal. This is the tale of a federal prison cult, a manipulative manifesto authored by its members, and the weaponization of the nefarious mind control techniques practiced by the IBLP, the cult in which he grew up. The curtain is about to come down on Josh Duggar's never-ending cycle of wickedness and tyranny. He needed nothing more than a fresh flock to tend to. Do me a favor and hold off on revealing the scandalous details of Josh Duggar's purported prison ministry until we have these documents made public. Right this second, click the like button if you think secrets like these should stay hidden. It conveys the significance of this tale to YouTube. Also, please subscribe and hit the bell icon if you haven't already. Do not squander a moment of your time as you follow this inquiry. We can start now. The conundrum of Segalville. The anticipation is the starting point for comprehending the deceit. One federal correctional institution that offers low security is FCI Segalville. However, low security is subjective. A strict and frequently brutal social hierarchy still rules this community of ex-convicts, and at the very bottom of the ladder are those criminals found guilty of crimes perpetrated against minors, who are commonly known as chomos in prison parlament. Extortion, assault, and persistent harassment are common forms of abuse directed towards them. Accordingly, upon Josh Duggar's admission to the system, the predictions of law enforcement analysts, ex-inmates, and internet pundits were unanimous. A terrible awakening awaited him. Right from the start, he would be hunted. A huge target would be drawn on him because of his horrific act and the fame of his family. As word spread, during the first several months, it appeared that this notion was correct. According to anonymous sources cited by tabloids, he was sad, alone, and terrified. Everyone had anticipated this storyline. Justice seems to be served by this story. However, a peculiar occurrence started thereafter. Things changed throughout the story. There was a shift in the tone of the murmurs emanating from behind Segalville's defenses. There were conflicting reports. According to other accounts, Duggar was not only safe, but also cozy, sheltered, and insulated. As he walked into the yard, he was accompanied by a small but devoted group of fellow prisoners rather than hunkered down in terror. It wasn't an attempt at extortion. He appeared to have more commissary items at his disposal than the average person. Why was this even conceivable? How does a sex offender who has been convicted manage to stay alive and even thrive while incarcerated? When it was offered, the official explanation was simple, tidy, and entirely in keeping with the Duggar brand. Josh Duggar had discovered the truth. He was now a devout Christian who had begun a small Bible study and was using his newfound knowledge to help other lost souls find God. A redemptive tale it was. He was said to have earned the respect of his fellow convicts due to their perception of his genuineness. He did not employ them as bodyguards. In a stunning turn of events, Josh Duggar, the disgraced reality TV star from the Duggar family, known for his role in the TLC series 19 Kids and Counting, has reportedly written a handwritten manifesto during his incarceration. Leaked to the public, this document exposes chilling insights into Duggar's prison life, revealing his involvement in a prison cult and his twisted views on power, religion, and control. The shocking revelations have sent ripples across the media, with many questioning how Duggar's time behind bars has impacted his mindset and whether his beliefs could have influenced his actions before his arrest. A twisted path to incarceration. Josh Duggar's journey from a beloved TV personality to a convicted child molester has been well documented. In 2021, he was found guilty on charges of receiving and possessing child sexual assault material, leading to his imprisonment. However, Duggar's criminal activities went beyond what the public initially knew. His manifesto paints a disturbing picture of a man who, even in prison, continues to hold on to extreme authoritarian beliefs that he once showcased on television. Before his arrest, Josh Duggar was a well-known figure in the evangelical Christian community, promoting conservative values and denouncing the very behavior that led to his conviction. His arrest sent shockwaves through his family and the millions of fans who followed his life on 19 Kids and Counting. For years, Duggar had been seen as the ideal image of a wholesome, God-fearing man, living a life of purity and moral righteousness. However, behind the scenes, Duggar's actions were far from the image he portrayed. The Prison Manifesto, a glimpse into Duggar's mind. The leaked manifesto, which is believed to have been written during Duggar's first year behind bars, offers a haunting glimpse into his troubled psyche. In his writings, Duggar details his interactions with fellow inmates, many of whom have backgrounds in organized crime and gang activity. The manifesto outlines Duggar's experiences with a group inside the prison that many have described as a cult. This prison group, according to Duggar's own words, has adopted a set of extreme beliefs, which are a perverse distortion of his former evangelical Christian teachings. Duggar's manifesto reflects a disturbing shift in his worldview as he speaks about power dynamics, manipulation, and a strict hierarchy that mirrors the authoritarian control he seems to crave. Duggar seems to align himself with this group, seeking not only comfort in their beliefs, but also a sense of belonging and influence that he may have lacked since his fall from grace. One of the most chilling parts of the manifesto is Duggar's commentary on power and control. He writes about how certain individuals within the prison system can rise to positions of influence by exploiting the vulnerabilities of others. These manipulative tactics mirrored Duggar's own behavior before his imprisonment, suggesting that he has found a way to exert dominance over those around him even in a highly controlled and monitored environment like prison. The prison cult, what it reveals about Duggar's descent. The cult-like group that Duggar appears to have aligned himself with is a deeply troubling aspect of his prison life. Cults within prisons are not uncommon, and they often revolve around a charismatic leader who exploits the emotional and psychological vulnerabilities of others. The group Duggar describes seems to operate on similar principles, with a strict code of conduct and an underlying emphasis on control, subjugation, and domination. Duggar's writing suggests that he views this group as a place where he can regain his sense of importance and power. Some experts believe that Duggar's involvement with this group may be a reflection of deeper psychological issues. Prison environments are often breeding grounds for manipulation and coercion, and Duggar's documented history of controlling behavior and moral absolutism may have made him particularly susceptible to such a group. The fact that he is writing about these issues in his manifesto shows that Duggar may be attempting to rationalize his actions and beliefs in a way that allows him to justify his behavior both inside and outside of prison. What's particularly unsettling about Duggar's manifesto is the way he describes his interactions with others in the prison cult. He speaks about forming relationships with other inmates, some of whom he believes have found the truth through the group's teachings. This could be a sign that Duggar is not just a passive participant in the cult, but may actually be playing an active role in spreading its beliefs. This aligns with his previous patterns of behavior, where he often took on the role of a leader or authority figure within his family and community. The shocking influence of Duggar's beliefs. Duggar's manifesto raises many questions about the lasting impact of his beliefs on both his family and the public. Before his conviction, Duggar had already been involved in controversial incidents, including the molestation of his sisters as a teenager, which was covered up by his parents. The revelation of Duggar's prison manifesto casts a shadow over the family's public persona, as many are left wondering how much of his toxic mindset was shaped by the teachings he was exposed to in his upbringing. As Duggar's story continues to unfold, the public is left grappling with the disturbing implications of his actions and beliefs. His manifesto provides a chilling reminder of how power, control, and manipulation can become twisted and normalized over time, especially when combined with the isolation and vulnerability of prison life. The cult-like group Duggar seems to have latched onto may serve as a reflection of the darkness within his soul, which has now been exposed for the world to see.